Welcome to the channel, everyone. If you've been feeling like there's something holding you back from living your best life, especially as you get older, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into some powerful insights that could really help you transform your journey. Think about it. What if just a few simple changes could improve your health, boost your happiness, and make your days richer and more fulfilling? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll be equipped with some crucial tips to live with more intention and freedom. And hey, if you find value here, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content, and give this video a big thumbs up. I also love hearing from you, so drop a comment below with your thoughts. Alright, let's get started. The first thing we need to talk about is one habit that's silently affecting so many of us: accepting everything people say without questioning it. I mean, really think about it. How often do you just go along with what others say just to keep the peace? How often do you nod, smile, and stay quiet even when something doesn't sit right with you? I get it, conflict can be exhausting, and most of us were taught that being agreeable is a good thing, that it keeps everything smooth. But here's the painful truth: every time you do that, every time you push your real feelings aside to avoid rocking the boat, you're losing a piece of yourself. We often think that staying quiet and just agreeing is a way to avoid unnecessary stress. But, in reality, you're slowly giving up your voice, your power to make decisions that matter to you. The more you do it, the more you start to lose touch with who you really are, until one day, you may look in the mirror and barely recognize yourself. Let me tell you, you deserve to be heard. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs matter just as much now as they ever did, maybe even more. You've lived a full life, gathered a wealth of wisdom and experiences. Why stay silent? Think back to all the times you wanted to speak up, but didn't. The times when you disagreed, but you kept quiet just to keep the peace. By doing that, you weren't just keeping the peace with others, you were losing peace within yourself. When you constantly suppress what's in your heart, you're essentially handing over your power to others. You're letting them decide how you should feel, what you should believe, and how you should live your life, and that, my friends, is a recipe for losing your true self. It's time to break that cycle. You deserve to take up space. You deserve to speak your mind, even if it makes others uncomfortable. The wisdom that you have is something that the world desperately needs, and staying silent only means that valuable perspective gets lost. So stop agreeing just to agree. Stand up for what you believe in. This isn't just about making a fuss or causing conflict, it's about living authentically, about making decisions based on your own values, not someone else's. The second habit we need to address is isolating yourself. I understand, as we get older, it's easy to retreat. The thought of socializing can feel exhausting. Sometimes it feels like it's easier just to stay at home rather than attend social gatherings. Friends might have moved away or grown distant, and it can seem like an uphill battle to stay connected. But let me tell you, isolation is one of the sneakiest, most damaging thieves of joy. It takes away the very thing that makes us human: connection. We are social beings, whether we realize it or not. Human interaction isn't just about making small talk or passing the time, it's a lifeline for our well-being. When you cut yourself off from the world, you're not just avoiding social discomfort, you're denying your mind and body the nourishment they need to thrive. Studies have shown that prolonged isolation can lead to a higher risk of depression, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. Simply put, our brains are wired for connection. It's totally understandable to feel like staying home is the easier option. Energy might be lower, and maybe you feel like you don't have as much in common with others anymore. But the truth is, you still have so much to offer. Your stories, your experiences, your wisdom, these are treasures that others need to hear. You never know how much a simple conversation can brighten someone's day, including your own. So, I challenge you, step out of your comfort zone. Make that call to an old friend, say yes to that social gathering, join a local group or community. It's not about having a big circle of friends, it's about having meaningful connections, even if it's just one or two people. Don't let isolation take away the joy that comes from being connected. Loneliness can be like a slow poison, creeping in until it turns into something much harder to shake. You deserve more than that. You deserve to feel seen, heard, and valued. Reconnecting with people might feel challenging at first, but trust me, it's worth it. It could be as simple as having a cup of coffee with a neighbor or calling up a family member just to chat. These little moments bring us back to life and remind us that we're never truly alone. Alright, so now let's move on to the third thing you need to stop doing: neglecting your physical health because you think it's too late. Let me be clear, it is never too late to start taking care of yourself. I know it's easy to think, well, I'm not young anymore, so what's the point? But that kind of thinking is incredibly dangerous. It doesn't matter if you're in your 60s, 70s, or even 80s, your health is still worth investing in. Every small effort counts. Maybe you're thinking exercise won't do much or that eating healthier won't really make a difference. But even small changes can dramatically improve your quality of life. A walk around the block, some gentle stretching, or even a few minutes of balance exercises can help keep you mobile, improve your mood, and maintain your independence. These aren't just small routines, they're steps toward preserving your autonomy and living life on your own terms. And let's not forget about nutrition. Eating well isn't just for young people, it's for everyone. A balanced diet can provide you with energy, help manage chronic conditions, and even improve your mental health. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel when you give your body the nutrients it needs: more energy, fewer aches, and a brighter outlook on life. Taking care of your health is also a powerful act of self-respect. When you prioritize your well-being, you're reminding yourself that you matter, that you're worth the effort. You might notice that as your body feels stronger, your mind starts to feel more capable too. Confidence grows, and suddenly you're not just getting by, you're thriving. It's never about reversing time or trying to be who you were decades ago. It's about being the best version of yourself right now. So don't let that inner voice convince you that it's too late. Every step, every healthy meal, every small action is an investment in your future. It's about adding more life to your years, not just years to your life. And you deserve that. You deserve to feel your best, no matter your age. Alright, that wraps up the first part of our discussion on what to stop doing to take back control of your life and make the most of every single day. If you're still watching and finding value in these insights, please let me know by liking this video and dropping a comment below. It really helps out the channel and lets me know I'm on the right track. Stay tuned, because we're just getting started. We've got plenty more to cover, and I can't wait to share it all with you. Remember, if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to do so. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. There's lots more great content coming your way. Thanks so much for being here, and let's keep moving forward together. Moving right along, let's talk about another crucial habit that you need to leave behind: living in the past. And believe me, this one can be a real challenge. As we age, it's so easy to slip into nostalgia, to hold on tightly to what used to be. Maybe it's the good old days when you felt more active, the people who were once by your side, or the decisions you made or didn't make. It's all too tempting to look back and feel like your best years are behind you, but let me tell you, they're not. Living in the past can be one of the biggest barriers to enjoying the present. It's important to cherish your memories, to honor where you've been and the people who shaped you, but you can't let those memories overshadow what's right in front of you. By constantly looking back, you miss out on the opportunities, connections, and moments that are here for you now. Life still has so much to offer, it's just waiting for you to embrace it. Maybe you've found yourself replaying old scenarios in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently. Maybe you're holding on to regrets, the choices you didn't make, the opportunities you missed. This kind of thinking can be exhausting, and it stops you from fully experiencing the joy that's available to you right now. The truth is, the past is gone, and while it's an important part of your story, it doesn't define your present. If you find yourself stuck in a loop of regret or longing for the way things used to be, it's time to shift your focus. Ask yourself what you can do today to make the most of this moment. What new memories can you create? What joy can you find right here, right now? It's about making a conscious decision to let go of what you can't change and embracing the possibilities that are still ahead of you. Trust me, there's still so much life to live, and your best days could very well be right in front of you, but you have to be open to them. The next thing you need to stop doing is sacrificing your own happiness and well-being for others. Now, don't get me wrong, caring for others is one of the most beautiful things we can do. But when you constantly put everyone else's needs above your own, you start to lose yourself in the process. Especially if you've spent much of your life in a caregiving role, it can be hard to step away from that identity and realize that your happiness matters too. For so many of us, the idea of putting ourselves first feels selfish. We've been conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to how much we can give, how many people we can help, and how selflessly we can serve those around us. But the truth is, if you're always sacrificing your own well-being for others, you're not doing anyone any favors, least of all yourself. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to rest. You deserve to live a life that brings you joy, not just one that caters to the needs of everyone else around you. Think about it, when you constantly give and give without taking care of yourself, you eventually run out of energy. You become depleted, and over time, resentment can start to build. You might feel unappreciated, taken for granted, or just plain exhausted. And the hard truth is that the very people you've been sacrificing for may not even realize the toll it's taking on you. They may take your giving nature for granted because it's all they've ever known. It's time to start putting yourself first, not in a selfish way, but in a way that honors your own needs and well-being. It's okay to say no. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to carve out time for yourself, to do the things that make you happy, and to rest when you need to. You've spent so much of your life giving to others, now it's time to give something to yourself, the permission to be happy, to care for yourself, and to live life on your own terms. The fifth habit that needs to go is ignoring your own physical and emotional limits. We live in a society that often praises pushing through pain, working beyond exhaustion, and refusing to show any signs of weakness. And as we age, it can be even harder to admit that we need to slow down or ask for help. But ignoring your limits can have serious consequences, both for your physical health and your emotional well-being. It's so important to listen to your body and to honor what it's telling you. If you're tired, rest. If you're in pain, don't push through it. And if you need help, ask for it. There's no shame in admitting that you can't do everything you used to. In fact, it takes strength to recognize your own limits and to adjust accordingly. This isn't about giving up or letting age define you, it's about being wise enough to know what your body needs and brave enough to give it just that. Think about all the people you know who pushed themselves too far and ended up with serious health issues or injuries that could have been avoided. It's a common story, people ignore the signs, keep going as if they're still in their 20s or 30s, and eventually, their bodies give out. The truth is, the more you ignore your limits, the greater the risk of serious consequences. Aging isn't about pretending you're still young, it's about adjusting to your new reality and finding ways to thrive within it. Living with intention means knowing when to slow down, when to ask for help, and when to say, "I've done enough for today." It means respecting your body and mind and treating them with the care they deserve. You've carried yourself through so many years, faced countless challenges, and overcome so much. You've earned the right to rest when you need it, to say no when something feels like too much, and to live life at your own pace. Another key thing you need to stop doing is avoiding intimacy because you think you're too old for it. There's a misconception out there that sexual desire fades as we age or that intimacy is only for younger people. This couldn't be further from the truth. Sexuality is a natural, important part of life at any age, and intimacy can bring so much joy, comfort, and connection, no matter how old you are. Unfortunately, a lot of older adults neglect this part of their lives because of shame, societal expectations, or fear. They might think that because their bodies have changed, they're no longer qualified for intimacy. But intimacy isn't about how your body looks or whether it works exactly the way it used to, it's about connection. It's about feeling close to someone, about sharing something beautiful, and about embracing the physical and emotional aspects of love. Changes in your body might mean that intimacy looks different now than it did years ago, but that doesn't mean it's any less meaningful. In fact, intimacy in older age can be even more profound because it's less about performance and more about true connection. There's no pressure to impress anyone or to live up to unrealistic expectations. It's just about being present, being vulnerable, and sharing an experience that brings you joy. Maintaining an active intimate life also has a lot of health benefits. It can improve your mood, reduce stress, and even boost your immune system. The hormones released during intimacy, like oxytocin, often called the love hormone, help foster a sense of closeness and well-being. So if you've been avoiding intimacy because you think it's not for you anymore, I encourage you to let go of that belief. Embrace your sexuality with confidence, and remember that you're never too old for love, connection, and joy. Alright, that's it for part 2 of our discussion on the habits to leave behind to live a more fulfilled and intentional life. I hope you're finding this journey as insightful as I am. If you're still watching and enjoying this content, please give it a like and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. There's so much more to explore together, and I'm excited to keep going with you. Let's keep going with the next habit that you need to stop, letting fear of judgment control your actions. It's something we all struggle with from time to time, isn't it? We worry about what others will think, and that fear can end up dictating our choices, preventing us from living authentically. This is particularly common as we age, when societal expectations and stereotypes about appropriate behavior for older adults can make us feel confined. But if we're going to make the most of our lives, we need to break free from the chains of other people's opinions. Think about it. How many times have you held back from doing something you wanted to do just because you were worried about what someone else might think? Maybe you wanted to wear something that made you feel great but worried that it wasn't age appropriate. Maybe you wanted to take up a new hobby, travel alone, or even speak up about something important, but the fear of being judged kept you from taking action. The truth is, you are never too old to follow your passions, express yourself, or try something new. The opinions of others do not define your worth or your capabilities. Here's the thing, people will always have opinions. No matter what you do, someone out there will have something to say about it. But you can't let that stop you from living your life on your own terms. What truly matters is how you feel about yourself. Do your choices align with your values? Do they make you happy? Do they help you grow? If the answer is yes, then it's time to stop worrying about what others think and start living unapologetically. The reality is that most people are too busy worrying about their own lives to spend much time judging yours. And even if they do judge, that's their problem, not yours. Life is too short to let other people's opinions dictate your happiness. So wear that outfit you love, start that hobby you've been curious about, take that trip you've been dreaming of, live your life boldly and without apology. When you do, you'll find a sense of freedom that's incredibly empowering. Alright, the next habit to stop is being overly critical of yourself. This is a big one. As we get older, it's easy to fall into the trap of focusing on what we can't do anymore, on the mistakes we've made, or on what we think we could have done better. Self-criticism can become a constant voice in our heads, one that tells us we're not good enough, that we've wasted time, or that we're somehow falling short. But let me tell you, that voice is wrong. We're often our own worst critics, holding ourselves to impossible standards that we'd never expect anyone else to meet. It's time to let go of that harsh inner critic and replace it with compassion. You've lived through so much, learned countless lessons, and faced so many challenges. You deserve kindness, especially from yourself. Instead of focusing on what you think you've done wrong, focus on what you've done right. Celebrate the victories, no matter how small they may seem. Give yourself credit for the effort you've put in, for the resilience you've shown, and for all the ways you've grown over the years. It's easy to look back and think about all the things you should have done differently, but the truth is, you made the best decisions you could with the information you had at the time. Every mistake you've made has been an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become the person you are today. So instead of dwelling on regrets, try to see them as part of your journey, a journey that's brought you to this moment, full of wisdom and experience. Self-compassion is not about ignoring your faults or pretending you're perfect. It's about recognizing that you're human, that you're doing your best, and that you're deserving of love and respect, from yourself most of all. So the next time that critical voice pops up in your head, try to challenge it. Remind yourself of all the good you've done, all the lives you've touched, and all the strength you've shown. You deserve to treat yourself with the same kindness you show to others. Now let's talk about the next habit to let go of: resisting change. Change can be intimidating, especially as we get older. We find comfort in the familiar, and the idea of stepping into the unknown can feel overwhelming. But resisting change can keep us stuck, preventing us from experiencing new opportunities, new connections, and new joys. Life is constantly evolving, and if we want to continue growing, we have to be willing to evolve with it. Change doesn't have to be a bad thing. In fact, it can be incredibly rewarding. Whether it's moving to a new place, trying a new activity, meeting new people, or even just changing your perspective on something, embracing change can bring a fresh sense of excitement and purpose to your life. It's about seeing change not as something to fear, but as something to welcome, an opportunity for growth, for learning, and for new experiences. Think about a time in your life when something changed, and it ended up being a positive experience. Maybe it was something small, like trying a new hobby that you ended up loving, or something big, like moving to a new city and making new friends. These moments of change are often where we find the most growth and the most joy. So instead of resisting change, try leaning into it. Be open to what's new and unfamiliar, and trust that it could bring something wonderful into your life. Another habit we need to let go of is comparing ourselves to others. This is one of those habits that can sneak up on us without us even realizing it. We look at other people's lives, their accomplishments, their health, their families, and we start to compare. We think, I should be doing that, or I wish I had what they have. But the truth is, comparison is the thief of joy. When we compare ourselves to others, we're often comparing our behind the scenes to their highlight reel, and it's not a fair comparison. Everyone's journey is different. The challenges you face, the lessons you learn, and the experiences you have are unique to you. You don't need to measure your life against anyone else's to find value in it. Instead of focusing on what others are doing, focus on what makes your own life meaningful. What are the things that bring you joy? What are the moments that make you feel fulfilled? Your life doesn't need to look like anyone else's to be beautiful and valuable. It's also important to remember that what we see of other people's lives is often just the surface. We don't see the struggles they face, the fears they have, or the challenges they're dealing with behind closed doors. So instead of comparing, try to practice gratitude for what you have. Appreciate your own journey, with all its ups and downs, and recognize the beauty in your own story. When you let go of comparison, you make room for contentment and peace, and that is truly priceless. The last habit we'll cover in this part is ignoring your passions and hobbies. One of the saddest things I see is people giving up on the things they love because they think it's too late. Maybe you used to love painting, playing music, gardening, writing, or anything else that brought you joy, but somewhere along the way, you let it go. Maybe you thought you didn't have time for it anymore, or maybe you felt like it wasn't important. But here's the truth, your passions are what make life rich and meaningful, and it's never too late to reconnect with them. Your hobbies and passions are not just a way to pass the time, they are a way to nourish your soul. They give you a sense of purpose, a reason to get up in the morning, and a way to express yourself. They bring joy, creativity, and fulfillment into your life, and you deserve all of those things. So whatever it is that you love, make time for it. Pick up that paintbrush, that pen, that instrument, whatever it is that lights you up inside. It doesn't matter if you're not as good as you once were or if you're just starting out. What matters is that it brings you joy. Alright, that wraps up part 3 of our discussion. I hope you're finding these insights helpful and inspiring. Remember, life is too precious to be held back by habits that no longer serve us. If you're still with me and enjoying this content, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. There's so much more to explore, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you. Let's keep moving forward, one positive change at a time. Let's continue with the next habit that we need to let go of, holding on to grudges. This is one of those habits that can weigh heavily on your heart, keeping you from experiencing true peace and happiness. Over the years, it's natural that we accumulate hurts, people let us down, betray us, or fail to meet our expectations. And sometimes, we hold on to those feelings of resentment, thinking that by doing so, we're somehow protecting ourselves from being hurt again. But the truth is, holding on to grudges only hurts you. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of negativity, unable to fully move forward. Forgiveness isn't about condoning what someone else did. It's not about pretending that it didn't hurt or that it was okay. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself. It's about letting go of the anger and bitterness that keep you tied to the past. When you hold on to a grudge, you're giving someone else power over your emotions. You're allowing what they did to continue affecting your life long after the event has passed. By choosing to forgive, you take that power back. You decide that your peace of mind is more important than holding on to the pain. I know that forgiving isn't always easy. Some hurts run deep, and it can feel impossible to let go. But forgiveness doesn't mean you have to forget, or that you have to allow someone back into your life. It simply means you're choosing not to let that pain define you anymore. It means you're choosing to move forward without the weight of resentment holding you back. Think of it as a gift you give to yourself, the gift of peace, of freedom, and of emotional well-being. Take a moment to reflect. Is there someone in your life you're still holding a grudge against? Maybe it's an old friend, a family member, or even yourself. Imagine how much lighter you'd feel if you could let go of that burden. Imagine what it would be like to live without that resentment taking up space in your heart. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful acts of self-care, and it's never too late to choose it. Alright, the next habit we need to address is neglecting your mental health. Mental health is just as important as physical health, yet so many of us ignore it. We might think that feeling sad, anxious, or overwhelmed is just something we have to deal with, that it's a normal part of life, and that we shouldn't talk about it. But that kind of thinking can lead to serious consequences. Your mental health matters, and taking care of it is crucial for living a happy, fulfilled life. Ignoring your mental health can lead to feelings of isolation, depression, and even physical health problems. It's important to acknowledge your feelings and to seek help when you need it. This could mean talking to a friend or family member, seeking out a counselor or therapist, or even just finding healthy ways to cope with stress, like meditation, exercise, or creative expression. There's no shame in needing help. In fact, it takes courage to admit when you're struggling and to take steps to care for yourself. Taking care of your mental health also means setting boundaries. It means knowing when to say no, when to step back, and when to put your own well-being first. It's about recognizing the things in your life that drain your energy and taking steps to protect yourself from them. Whether it's negative relationships, overwhelming commitments, or even your own thoughts, it's important to set boundaries that allow you to protect your mental health. One thing to remember is that your emotions are valid. Whatever you're feeling, whether it's sadness, anger, fear, or joy, it's okay to feel that way. You don't have to pretend that everything is fine when it's not. By acknowledging your emotions and giving yourself permission to feel them, you can begin to process them in a healthy way. Don't ignore your mental health. Make it a priority, and give yourself the care and compassion you deserve. Now, let's talk about another habit to stop: putting off things you've always wanted to do. We've all done it. We say we'll do something later, when we have more time, more energy, more money, or when the circumstances are right. But the problem is, later often turns into never. We put off our dreams and our desires, thinking we'll get to them someday, but life has a way of passing by faster than we realize. If there's something you've always wanted to do, now is the time to do it. Whether it's traveling to a place you've always dreamed of, learning a new skill, or pursuing a passion that's been on the back burner for years, there's no better time than now. You deserve to experience the things that bring you joy, the things that make you feel alive. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment may never come. Instead, create your own perfect moment by taking action now. It's easy to come up with reasons not to do something. Maybe you're worried about the cost, or maybe you're afraid of stepping outside of your comfort zone. But the truth is, the things that are most worth doing often involve some level of risk. They require us to take a leap of faith, to believe in ourselves, and to trust that the rewards will be worth it. Don't let fear or uncertainty keep you from living the life you want. You deserve to make your dreams a reality. Another habit to leave behind is feeling guilty for taking care of yourself. Self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. Yet so many of us feel guilty for taking time for ourselves, as if we're somehow neglecting our responsibilities or letting others down. But the truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly giving to others without taking time to recharge, you're going to burn out. Taking care of yourself is the best way to ensure that you have the energy, patience, and strength to care for others. Self-care looks different for everyone. For some, it might mean taking a long walk in nature. For others, it might mean reading a good book, spending time with loved ones, or simply sitting in silence and enjoying a cup of tea. Whatever it is that makes you feel nourished, make time for it. Prioritize it. And most importantly, let go of the guilt. You deserve to feel good, to be happy, and to take care of yourself. When you do, you're not only benefiting yourself, you're benefiting everyone around you. The next habit to stop is avoiding asking for help. This is a tough one for many people, especially if you're used to being independent or if you feel like you don't want to burden others. But the truth is, we all need help sometimes, and there's no shame in asking for it. In fact, asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. It shows that you're willing to be vulnerable, that you recognize your own limitations, and that you value your well-being enough to seek support. Whether it's asking for help with a practical task, seeking emotional support, or reaching out for professional help, it's important to remember that you don't have to do everything on your own. We are all interconnected, and part of being human is relying on each other. When you ask for help, you're allowing others to show their care for you, to be there for you in the way that you've likely been there for them. It creates a sense of community, of connection, and it helps us all grow stronger together. The last habit we'll cover in this part is spending too much time worrying about the future. It's natural to worry from time to time, especially when it comes to the unknown. But when you let worry consume you, it takes away from the joy of the present moment. The future is uncertain, and no amount of worrying will change that. What you can do is focus on what's within your control, on what you can do today to create a better tomorrow, and then let go of the rest. Worrying about the future robs you of the peace and happiness that are available to you right now. It's about finding a balance, planning for the future while still being present in the moment. When you find yourself worrying, try to bring your attention back to the present. What are you grateful for right now? What's something small that brings you joy in this moment? By focusing on the here and now, you can begin to let go of the anxiety that comes from trying to predict or control the future. Alright, that's it for part 4 of our discussion on the habits to leave behind to live a more fulfilling and intentional life. If you're still with me, I hope you're finding these insights valuable. Remember, life is too precious to be weighed down by habits that no longer serve you. If you're enjoying this content, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Let's keep moving forward, making positive changes one step at a time. Let's continue with the next habit to leave behind, resisting asking for help because of pride. This is one that can be especially tough for those of us who have always prided ourselves on being independent. Maybe you're used to taking care of everyone else, and you're not comfortable with the idea of being the one who needs help. But the truth is, none of us can do it all alone, and there's absolutely no shame in reaching out when you need it. Pride can be a powerful thing. It can give us a sense of strength and self-reliance, but it can also be our downfall when it stops us from getting the support we need. Asking for help doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're strong enough to acknowledge your own limits. It takes real courage to admit that you can't do everything by yourself, and that's something to be proud of, not ashamed of. Remember, we're all human, and we all need each other. When you allow yourself to ask for help, you're opening the door to connection. You're allowing the people who care about you to step in and support you, just like you've probably done for them countless times. It's a beautiful thing to give and receive support, and it's part of what makes life meaningful. So let go of that pride, and don't be afraid to lean on others when you need to. You might be surprised at how much closer it brings you to the people around you. The next habit to stop is avoiding new technology. I know, technology can feel overwhelming, especially when it seems like it's constantly changing. It's easy to think that it's just not for you, that it's too complicated, or that it's something only younger people should be interested in. But the reality is, technology is a big part of the world we live in today, and it can open up so many opportunities for connection, learning, and convenience. You don't have to become a tech expert, but embracing some of the new technology out there can make a big difference in your life. Whether it's learning how to video chat with your loved ones, using apps to stay organized, or exploring social media to stay connected, there are so many ways technology can enhance your life. It's not just about keeping up with the times, it's about using the tools available to make your life easier and more fulfilling. Think about the possibilities. You could connect with family members who live far away, find new hobbies or interests through online communities, or even learn new skills from the comfort of your home. Technology can be intimidating at first, but once you get the hang of it, it can open up a whole new world of opportunities. Don't let fear or frustration keep you from experiencing the benefits of what's out there. Take it one step at a time, and don't be afraid to ask for help. There are plenty of people who would be more than happy to guide you through it. Another habit to leave behind is taking on more than you can handle. Many of us have a hard time saying no. We want to be helpful, to be there for others, to take care of things ourselves. But the truth is, constantly taking on more than you can handle is a recipe for burnout. It's okay to say no sometimes. In fact, it's necessary if you want to maintain your well-being and continue showing up as your best self. Taking on too much can lead to stress, exhaustion, and even resentment. You might find yourself feeling overwhelmed, unable to enjoy the things you used to love because you're constantly running from one task to the next. It's important to recognize your own limits and to set boundaries that protect your time and energy. Saying no doesn't mean you don't care, it means you care enough about yourself to know when you need a break. When you set boundaries and say no to the things that drain you, you're making space for the things that truly matter. You're giving yourself the time and energy to focus on what brings you joy, on what fulfills you, and on the people and experiences that make life meaningful. So don't be afraid to say no when you need to. Your well-being is worth it. The next habit to let go of is thinking that it's too late to make new friends. It's never too late to build meaningful connections with others. As we get older, it can feel like making new friends is impossible. Maybe your social circle has gotten smaller, or maybe you've moved to a new place and feel like you don't know anyone. But the truth is, friendships can form at any age, and they can be just as fulfilling and rewarding as those you made when you were younger. Making new friends might take a little effort, but it's worth it. Whether it's joining a club, taking a class, or simply striking up a conversation with someone new, there are plenty of opportunities to connect with others. The key is to be open and willing to put yourself out there. You might feel a little nervous at first, but that's completely normal. The more you put yourself in situations where you can meet new people, the more comfortable it will become. And remember, friendship doesn't always have to look the same. It could be a deep, long-lasting connection, or it could be a simple, friendly chat with someone you see regularly. Both are valuable, and both can bring joy and connection to your life. So don't close yourself off to the possibility of new friendships. Be open, be kind, and be willing to connect. You never know who you might meet or how they could enrich your life. Another habit to stop is holding yourself back from learning new things. Learning doesn't end when we leave school, it's a lifelong journey, and it's one that keeps our minds sharp and our spirits alive. Whether it's learning a new skill, picking up a new hobby, or even just reading about something you're curious about, continuing to learn is one of the best ways to stay engaged and fulfilled as you get older. It's easy to think that you're too old to learn something new, that it's too late to start, or that you won't be any good at it. But the truth is, learning is about the experience, not the outcome. It's about challenging yourself, about discovering new interests, and about finding joy in the process. It doesn't matter if you're not perfect at it, what matters is that you're trying, that you're growing, and that you're keeping your mind active. Think about something you've always wanted to learn. Maybe it's cooking, painting, gardening, or even a new language. Whatever it is, take the first step today. Sign up for a class, watch a tutorial, or simply start practicing on your own. You might be surprised at how much joy it brings you, and at how capable you are of learning something new, no matter your age. The last habit we'll talk about in this part is avoiding taking risks because of fear of failure. Fear of failure can be paralyzing. It can keep us from trying new things, from pursuing our dreams, and from stepping out of our comfort zones. But failure is a natural part of life, and it's often through failure that we learn our greatest lessons. If you let fear of failure control your actions, you're missing out on so many opportunities for growth, joy, and fulfillment. Taking risks doesn't mean you have to do something extreme or reckless. It can be as simple as trying something new, putting yourself out there, or taking a step toward a goal that feels challenging. It's about being willing to be vulnerable, to embrace the possibility of failure, and to trust that no matter what happens, you'll be okay. Failure isn't the end, it's just part of the journey, and it often leads to new opportunities and new growth. So don't let fear hold you back. Take that leap of faith, try that new thing, and know that even if you stumble, you're still moving forward. Life is meant to be lived, and that means taking risks, making mistakes, and learning along the way. Embrace the unknown, trust in yourself, and remember that it's never too late to take a chance on something that could bring you joy. That's it for part 5 of our discussion on the habits to let go of to live a more intentional and fulfilling life. If you're still with me, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're finding these insights helpful and inspiring. If you're enjoying this content, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Let's keep moving forward together, one positive change at a time. As we move into the final part of this journey, let's talk about one more habit that's essential to leave behind: neglecting gratitude. It's easy to overlook the importance of gratitude, especially when life gets busy or challenging. But gratitude is one of the most powerful tools we have for shifting our perspective and finding more joy in our everyday lives. When we take the time to acknowledge what we're thankful for, we begin to see the world differently. We notice the little things that bring us happiness, the small moments that make life beautiful, and the people who make it all worthwhile. Neglecting gratitude often happens because we get caught up in the things we don't have or the things that aren't going our way. We focus on what's missing instead of appreciating what's already here. But by practicing gratitude, we can bring a sense of peace and contentment into our lives. It doesn't mean ignoring the difficult parts of life, it simply means choosing to also recognize the good. It means taking a moment each day to appreciate what's around you, whether it's a beautiful sunset, a kind word from a friend, or just the fact that you're here, breathing, alive, and capable of experiencing this moment. Gratitude is something that can be practiced. It might feel strange at first if you're not used to it, but it's a habit that gets easier the more you do it. Start by taking a few moments each day to think about 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. In fact, it's often the small things that bring us the most joy. Maybe it's a delicious meal, a phone call with a loved one, or just the warmth of the sun on your face. By focusing on these moments, you begin to cultivate a mindset of appreciation, and that can change everything. Another habit to let go of is comparing your current self to your younger self. It's natural to look back on our younger years and feel a sense of longing for the things we could do, the energy we had, or the way we looked. But comparing who you are now to who you were then can keep you from appreciating the person you are today. You're not the same as you were 10, 20, or 30 years ago, and that's okay. You've grown, you've learned, and you've become wiser through all of your experiences. Instead of focusing on what you can't do anymore, try to focus on what you can do. Maybe you're not as physically strong as you once were, but you've gained emotional strength and resilience. Maybe you don't look exactly the way you used to, but you carry the beauty of a life well lived, of experiences that have shaped you into who you are today. Your worth is not tied to your youth or to the things you used to be able to do. Your worth comes from who you are right now, in this moment, and the love and wisdom you bring to the world. It's important to honor the person you were, but it's just as important to honor the person you are today. Your journey has brought you here, and every stage of life has its own unique gifts. Instead of comparing yourself to who you used to be, celebrate the person you are now. Celebrate the growth, the lessons, and the wisdom that only comes from experience. You are enough, exactly as you are. The next habit to let go of is ignoring your need for joy and fun. Sometimes, as we get older, we forget that we're allowed to have fun, that life is meant to be enjoyed. We get caught up in responsibilities, routines, and the seriousness of life, and we forget to make time for the things that bring us joy. But joy is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's what makes life vibrant, what gives us energy, and what keeps us feeling young at heart. Think about the things that bring you joy. Maybe it's spending time in nature, dancing to your favorite music, playing games with friends or family, or simply laughing at a good joke. Whatever it is, make time for it. Prioritize it. Joy is not just for children or for younger people, it's for everyone, at every stage of life. You deserve to feel joy, to laugh, to play, and to enjoy the beauty of life. So don't let the seriousness of life keep you from experiencing happiness. Find the things that make you smile and do them often. Another habit to stop is focusing too much on what you can't control. Life is full of uncertainties, and it's easy to get caught up in worrying about the things that are out of our hands. But when we focus too much on what we can't control, we end up feeling helpless, anxious, and overwhelmed. The truth is, there will always be things in life that are beyond our control, and worrying about them doesn't change anything, it only takes away from our peace of mind. Instead of focusing on what you can't control, focus on what you can. You can't control other people's actions, but you can control your response. You can't control the future, but you can make choices today that help create the future you want. You can't control everything that happens in life, but you can control how you show up, how you care for yourself, and how you choose to see the world. When you shift your focus to the things that are within your control, you take back your power. You begin to feel more grounded, more at peace, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. The next habit to let go of is neglecting your need for creativity. Creativity is not just for artists or musicians, it's for everyone. It's a way to express yourself, to connect with your inner world, and to bring something beautiful into existence. Whether it's painting, writing, gardening, cooking, or even just daydreaming, creativity is a powerful way to nourish your soul and keep your mind active. Many people stop engaging in creative activities as they get older, thinking that it's not important or that they're not good enough. But creativity is not about being perfect, it's about the joy of creating. It's about exploring new ideas, trying new things, and giving yourself permission to play. So whatever it is that sparks your creativity, make time for it. Let yourself create without judgment, without worrying about whether it's good enough. Just enjoy the process, and let yourself be surprised by what you can create. Finally, let's talk about the habit of not celebrating your achievements. It's easy to brush off our accomplishments, to think they're not a big deal or that they don't matter. But every achievement, no matter how small, is worth celebrating. It's a testament to your effort, your perseverance, and your growth. By taking the time to acknowledge and celebrate your achievements, you're reminding yourself that you are capable, that you are making progress, and that you are worthy of recognition. Celebrating your achievements doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It could be as simple as treating yourself to something you enjoy, sharing your success with a friend, or just taking a moment to reflect on what you've accomplished and feeling proud of yourself. Life is made up of small moments, and each achievement is a step forward on your journey. Don't let them pass by unnoticed. Take the time to honor your efforts, to celebrate your successes, and to acknowledge how far you've come. Alright, that brings us to the end of this journey through the habits that we need to leave behind in order to live a more fulfilling, intentional, and joyful life. I hope that throughout this video, you found some insights that resonate with you, some habits that you're ready to let go of, and some positive changes you want to make moving forward. Remember, life is meant to be lived fully, with joy, with intention, and with a sense of freedom. It's never too late to make a change, to try something new, or to let go of the things that no longer serve you. You deserve to live a life that feels good, that brings you peace, and that fills your days with meaning. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and let me know which of these habits you're ready to let go of. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content we have coming up. Thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to invest in yourself, and for joining me on this journey. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay positive, and keep moving forward one step at a time. You've got this.